2.0 coming at you. This is the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can call in to the show at 855-282-8255. You can text into the show at 314-590-3770. You can also go on YouTube, which is Lou Info. All you gotta do is just type that in search. We'll pop up. You click it and you wave to each other. You can see us on YouTube. So we got a bunch of things going on here. Cam Janssen, Matthew Rocchio, Jimmy Caddies, and Caitlin McDermott. What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing pretty good. It's going to be 100 degrees again today. You're kind of stuck in the house a lot during the summertime when it gets to this point in St. Louis. Are you from St. Louis?
Yes. Most of my life, I was born in Hilton Island, South Carolina, so I lived there for about 8 years. And then when I was going into second grade, I moved to St. Louis.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I know.
We're going to get into St. Louis being boring later because me and Rock already went at it earlier today about St. Louis, so we'll probably get into that topic a little bit later. But so are we streaming now? Yeah, I think we're on, baby. I don't see it. Oh my word! Oh yeah, looking good. So you guys can comment on YouTube. I need new technology. It's not your turn. I know all that stuff too. Now it's happening to you a little bit. No. Just they're very different things. Okay, I'm here. I'm doing the show. You can't see it. Yeah. Okay. When I do the serving it up with the podcast that only a few people watch, it's great. I'm always there. Always have a signal on time. Yep. No problem. This is a computer issue that has no impact on whether or not I can do the assignment. I see what you're saying. All right. So there's a difference. I see what you're saying. That out. I see what you're saying. So, Caitlin, what are you doing here? What do you want to do? I heard you're going to Arkansas for school. So, what do you want to get into?
So I'm majoring in journalism and broadcasting. I want to get into different sports. I recently just switched my major to this, a year ago. So I just want to learn about this kind of field and how I can learn from basically anything.
So, what kind of sports you into?
I would say football and basketball.
I know a guy in the baseball world that can give you a lot of advice. He's kind of he's a young, handsome, full of energy, never cranky. And he's sitting right here. That's Jimmy the Cat Hayes right there. Worked for Cardinal Baseball for the last 30 years.
77 years.
He's been in the game for 30 years,
That's
interviewing
awesome.
people on TV.
Are you not a Cardinal fan, or are you a Cardinal fan?
Yes, Cardinals fan.
But don't you recognize him?
He does.
He's every day, like in the mix, every single day. So if you want to kind of get into that, we worked with Hannah Ray Yates for a long time in radio, and she did the same things. We went to Mizzou and got out of it, and now she works for the Carolina Hurricanes and works reporting for them, travels everywhere, and I think she works for the Braves as well. So she's a big,
cool. Yeah,
totally cool. Traveling with the team on the jet. So that's kind of like what you want to do.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of work.
Very sports oriented.
You got to watch the games.
Yeah.
You got to know what's going on, guys. So you could really get into it. Well, good for you.
Do you, what is your major now? What did you say your major was?
Journalism broadcasting.
Okay, that's important. I would say that the young people are so much more familiar with technology than I was. A lot of them coming out do great things. One of the things I would say is learn to write, because as you start on your career, you might be asked to write, and I don't think we teach that. We hammer that home as much as we should. So that's my tip: is read newspapers, read articles, so you're familiar with how to put that together. But learn to write. Take that seriously, because at some point that'll be a very important tool.
And if you want clicks, learn how to give out hot takes. I mean, even if they're false, it doesn't matter. Just make it hot. And you're going to get it. I'm just letting her know.
That's terrible.
No, don't do that. Do the opposite of that.
That's terrible advice.
Well, that's what this guy does. I see it on YouTube.
Whoa.
Rocchio.
Whoa, Rock.
Trade everybody.
Whoa, Rock.
That was taken out.
There's a picture of Rock. There's a picture of Rock looking like he's panicking, and the headline is "Trade everybody."
Okay, see, this is how you know. This is how you know Jim's telling lies, because they would never.
Because my lips are moving.
No, they would never. Put,
Hey,
they would never put
There it
my
is.
face on the thumbnail. They never put my face on the thumbnail of that
What
show.
are you, like Christopher Cross, like a beautiful voice, but they don't want you to see the face, or you won't buy his record?
That's a good way to spin it. Thank you.
Oh man, that is
Like a
funny.
Ruben Studdard kind of thing going.
Why Arkansas?
I wanted to not go to Mizzou just because basically all my high school, everyone like from St. Louis.
Bunch of
goes
weirdos
there.
down there. Yeah, I get.
Actually, literally all my friends go there, so I like visit there a lot. But I wanted to like go somewhere farther. In Arkansas, I get in-state tuition, which is super nice, and I just wanted to like be at a school, like a big school, SEC conference. So
You didn't want to be around your friends. That's like the opposite of what everybody wants.
no, actually, all my roommates I went to high school with.
Okay.
So I would
That's
say
Yeah.
I have like all my roommates I'm friends with. They're from St. Louis, but then like I would say the rest of my friend group went to like Mizzou or KU.
I do got a bone to pick with because
Oh, boy.
Dave Green keeps hiring these other SEC school kids. We got a South Carolina, we got an Arkansas,
Yeah, that's right.
Mississippi State. And listen, I'm not saying they're going to challenge the Mizzou hegemony, but I see what you're trying to do here, Dave Green, and I got my hackles up. I'm ready for it.
So have you learned anything so far following Dave Green around?
This is basically like my first official day, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time I was here, it was kind of just like a meet and greet, get to like know what I'd be doing and meet everyone. So
Yeah, I would. If that's the case, the baseball thing, you just got to watch the games. I mean, you really got to. That's the toughest thing. Even like doing
On radio, you have to remember things.
That's another thing. You got to remember things, which waves bye-bye to me a long time ago. Bye-bye. Oh, it's brutal. But just like keeping up with the games,
Yeah.
every day.
Maybe I'd
game.
find a way to rob the radio station. Look, I thought about it.
You and
I
probably
told-
many others.
Dave wasn't listening, and nor should he.
A
But
path
the
well
other
trod.
day, I know you have weekend programming, Dave. You also have bobbleheads. Those are going to walk at some point.
I don't
Unless
care
you
about
have a
radio.
camera.
I don't care about radio.
Yeah, you do got some bobbleheads.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're streaming the whole time. If you are.
Matt, it's Cole here.
Did you know that Cole said he was banned
From what?
this show?
I am
Why?
so confused right now.
Please don't play heads.
So
man.
a lot of trans news.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, you're right, soldier. Oh, Hayes again. Cole,
Janie Mae, I've been watching you. Don't do that
I like the
again.
Battlehawks. I think that's cool.
That's a lie.
I had black friends. I've never swam with Matt Whitener.
That's a lie,
that's
too.
a lie.
Bunch
Listen,
of lies around here.
Cole said he was banned from the show on Twitter. I said,
What are you
talking
talking
about?
about? Kate's fault. What's he talking about?
He said, "Oh, I thought you were mad." He took.
Well, you were.
I was mad,
Yeah.
but I didn't even know who was doing it. Like all of a sudden, we had no one in charge of our account. I didn't know if it was Cole or not. I just know someone's posting fake, out of context things. Not understanding that goes to a universe when you tag me well beyond.
Wow. Don't try to.
Oh, he got. He
Yeah.
got himself on that one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing not to, by the way. When somebody is in Jimmy's position where he works for the team, he's around the guys every single day on the plane, on the road, So he's part of the team basically. And sometimes you say things on here and they'll clip it off and without
For
any
example,
Give her an example.
I make fun of the Cardinal fans
Yes.
like Rocchio, irresponsible. Trade everyone. This team's terrible. So then I'm obviously that was a parody. So someone like Rock or our old board op / producer / co-host took that off and played that like Hayes is mad at the Cardinals. Well, you can't do that.
Jim, you just
At the
make
press
things
conference.
up. You just make things up.
Oh man, that's when it got deep right there. So anyway, he posted that, and like, if you're
Charlie, I agree.
some players just go through and they see that and they don't put everything together. And like, God dang, Jimmy, what are you saying on that radio show? Like, a lot of guys
I'll
just kind of.
survive. It's just the point of
It's a pain in the butt.
why would he did not understand because he's a smooth brain.
That's
I'm
true.
a liar and an insecure guy. That's true. He didn't understand the difference between playing a drop like that, which I'm fine with, and putting it out there in the ether,
Yeah,
as they
where
say.
it can confuse people.
Listen here,
very
Ohio
easily.
boy. Listen here, Ohio boy. But I would like to have Cole back as a guest.
Sure.
Let me ask you this, QAnon.
I think he works during this time. Who do you think? Who do you think? Who do you think?
Yeah, that's fair.
Sir Nathaniel. Jimmy had to put him in his place a couple times. That's why his neck went out one time because he kept looking back at
Why are you laughing, boy?
at Nate.
Why are you laughing?
trying
boy?
to calm him down. You're like this. That's why you weren't talking to the mic at the time.
Because you have to be responsible.
Oh man,
Try to look at both sides. This is not a shot at Tim McKern.
see, that's what we do. We play drops all day. When there's not much going on, that's what we do.
Thank you, text line.
It's a lazy way to do radio, but people love
How
it.
dare you?
People love
How
it.
dare you tell such an accurate truth?
I mean, it's crazy. Jimmy, he was nicknamed Smooth Brain for a reason. That is true. That's stuck.
He really didn't understand though.
Yeah.
The difference. And so I came in hard.
Yeah, I know.
Clip that off. Look at Rock.
Oh, there it
Look
is.
at Rock.
Yeah, Rock's like, that's over.
He made a little face. Ooh.
Well, I said the same thing. Like, what if he
appreciate it, Jimmy. I
he's saying
appreciate it.
something to Shen, and then I got to go on the road with him and see him for 3 hours on the point? Like, no, like, I'm going to be mad at you, even if I have to explain it to
Plus,
people.
we say enough dumb stuff where
There
we
it
can get
is.
ourselves in trouble. Let's not manufacture it.
Oh man, Rocchio, what's the temperature like with the Cardinals fans in St. Louis right now?
They're a little angry, and I think
Drop the voice a few octaves.
a little angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little pissy, and I think the news that they're only going to get one shift in the rotation this round is not going to be taken well by anyone. It's hard to rationalize it from a fan point of view why both Fetty and Michaelis aren't getting the hook out of the rotation. I understand it. I think you can find the logic from the baseball front office point of view, but I think this is going to be one of those cases where trying to explain that to fans is going to be an extremely futile effort, and I'm not even going to try to waste my time on
They're
this
reasonable.
one. I'm just going to let them.
They're reasonable.
I'm just going to let fans be pissed off this week.
And that's their right to be
It's their
pissed
right,
off.
yeah. I think they got a logical reason.
Where I draw the line is when they start personally attacking the players. That bothers me. It's not a character flaw if your ERA is 6. Okay, it means you're having difficulty. No, it's true. It means you're having difficulty kind of corralling your talent and putting in the positive direction.
Yeah.
You think guys are happy? Like, I don't care if you're making $20 million
Doesn't matter.
a
Yeah,
year.
you're competitive.
You're a competitor with a resume, and you're not happy about it. You don't have to attack them personally, especially when it's the gotcha. Wait a minute, this guy wore that hat. Now it's my chance to get him. Stop with that.
Yeah. So Miles Michaelis
also-
wore a Golf of America hat, and he's taking it, and he's getting lit up like a Christmas tree. So you put 2 and 2 together, and the fans are just losing
Just
it.
like with Flaherty when he did his BLM stuff and talked about his views. All of a sudden he was struggling, and then you go after him for that. Stop it. People are allowed to have their views.
I appreciate it.
That's my boy. And then the other thing is, if you're gonna say something about my dog Stella, you're getting blocked.
Oh, that's where I draw the line.
Yep.
You can make fun of me all you want. You make fun of my puppies. It was my kitty cat, but she died 17 years.
So if they're
Assuming makes an ass
Dang right.
out of you and me.
thank you, Charlie.
You saying "dang right" in the background is so
Dumb.
dumb.
Everything's dumb.
I want 30 drops of
My God.
saying classic American cliches and idioms with Cam going, that's right, in the background every time.
Oh, God.
Sound is awful, boys.
Is
Maybe
it?
they're-
Assuming makes an ass
Dang right.
out of you and me.
Dang
I
right.
think Greener fixed that.
Yes,
Well, it might be. They might. If you want to listen to this program, I don't know why. But if
You
you,
got
want to
options.
listen, you don't listen on the AM side, right, Dave?
Well,
That's
that,
fair
that
advice,
was
right?
the YouTube sound that was really bad.
Who
But we
did that?
fixed it. It was Dave's fault.
You know
Learn
what?
from that.
The nice
Caitlin.
thing is,
Learn from that.
the nice thing is, you have a morning show that has no idea what's going on, so you'll never get criticized.
But yeah, Colton Carragher says Cat's been fired by every radio station he's ever worked for, some multiple times. Not a great mentor.
Yeah, that's true. But you have to remember, all the firings were at 590.
Yeah, so it's one big
which
firing.
has a checkered. It has a checkered past, and I always came back like a fungus.
Yeah, like a cockroach. Can't get rid of me. Good morning, Deus. Cam, did you watch the Oklahoma City bombing on Netflix? Great documentary. Seems right up your alley. Yes, I did. I knew about that. I've watched all kinds of stuff about Timothy McVeigh. That was hardcore.
Who paid him?
I don't know.
All right.
Who paid for everything, like the fertilizer and all that stuff?
Who's behind it? Did he act alone?
He's a radical. No,
I'm sorry. He didn't even present a conspiracy. You're just trying to now just incept
He was
him
pissed about-
that he's trying to talk about.
He was pissed about Waco.
I set a little trap. I just want him to step into
The
it.
thing about
and I could
Did you get me?
debunk it.
Did you get me?
No,
I was gonna say.
You stepped around that.
Yeah. He was pissed about Waco.
That
He was
was
a
ridiculous.
radical.
No, I know, but he pulled that all off himself.
No, he had help. Another guy. It wasn't that much. We get a bunch of fertilizer, put it in the U-Haul, back it up, and blow it up. God awful. Yeah, I watched that. I always watch all
I
the
am
hardcore
kind of
stuff.
enjoying.
What are you laughing about? Did he get me?
No, I didn't.
No, he
I
didn't. But it's just it's ooh piece of candy. It's ooh piece of candy all over again.
James Woods and
Yeah, he's trying
Family Guy.
to, he's just dropping Reese's
He
Pieces.
is funny. On
trying to
Twitter,
get
James
you.
Woods. Pretty funny. He rattles some cages.
He's a little much.
He's-
Great actor.
I would
Great actor.
honestly, I would like to see James Wood like there's a perpetual cage match
Is
for
it
24.
Woods?
James Woods, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
24/7, just a perpetual cage match between James Woods and Keith Olbermann.
Oh, God. How's Keith doing?
Neither of them are
He's
doing great.
He's
They're,
great.
they're both off. the
He's
deep
really
end.
crazy.
He's crazy.
Woods actually makes me laugh with stuff. Overman's just, I mean,
They're
hardcore,
both
just like
wild.
angry at the world, you know.
I just think
Angry.
we need a little bit more celebrity death match, and I think that could be the
I remember
that could
that
be the
back-
opening run.
I remember that was back on MTV, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
man.
James Woods knows how to play that just nasty, like mean, kind of like shady.
He played the villain in the Recess movie, and he was fantastic.
He was great in
He was a
Casino.
perfect villain.
Casino. He was
perfect
just like
villain.
just
Any
a
given
scumbag.
Sunday, he was the doctor that
Scummy.
scumbag.
No,
He's-
John
he's-
Q.
He's a great scumbag.
Remember John Q, the movie John Q with
No.
Denzel, and his little boy has to have heart surgery, and they can't afford it. So he was going to die. So he grabbed the gun and he held everybody up at the hospital. James Woods was the main doctor, who was just brutal, mean, and just.
He's really good at
He's-
playing an SOB.
Wow.
He's really good at it. I respect that.
I'd like to play something like that in a movie. Something
You're
just like
Cam,
evil.
you can't. You're not doing it, man. I'm sorry.
Evil.
You're not doing it.
Or a hero.
There you go.
It's one or the other.
You're much more the hero.
You think so?
Yeah, you're comedic relief.
I
you're
saved
the
your life
hero.
one time.
I'm
I
sorry.
could see you like if I
Wait,
had
no. Hold on a second. Can we elaborate on you saving his life one time?
Yes, I did.
Jim, do you agree with this statement?
Well, I helped them just in case some crazy person was out there in the morning, and he was big, and he was looking through the trash one time, and I pull up, I'm like, what the heck? And he gets in front of my car and starts doing karate chops, like, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa. I was going to run him over, but then I'm like, no. Then he walked over this way. Sun's coming up. People are walking their dogs in the morning. Jimmy shows up, and I went out there and just escorted Jimmy in because he might have came out of the bushes or something and attacked
and I
him.
was scared.
So I know. Then we called 911.
I wasn't scared.
We were. It was,
You know what's a better
it
hero
was
story?
weird.
Because that one you're kind of making the
biggest
Oh, we have
You know,
nothing
escort
more
him.
insane.
we
I
saved the
escorted
cat, the
We-
kitten.
there it is.
All right,
The biggest
that was we
attention
were here.
whore in St. Louis since Iggy Strode and Andy Strickland.
Oh, wow.
Why is that a drop?
Wow.
Why is that a drop?
Wow.
What? Play it again.
Play that one more time.
The biggest attention whore in St. Louis since Iggy Strode and Andy Strickland.
You were reading a text
was
right
reading
there,
it.
and Cole got you.
God, Cole got, yeah. Whoa. Okay.
So
Andy might hear that.
What are some of these texts? Some of these drops in your folder, Cam.
Connor Bedard want to go down on you too? I don't think so.
What?
Connor Bedard want to go down on you too? I don't think so.
What are you saying?
Oh, no. Don't play that one again.
what were you saying?
I don't know.
This guy.
These Bible thumpers telling you you're going to hell is
Listen,
funny.
You know that I'm a Cam.
Oh my
I'm
God.
a Cam advocate and a Cam guy. But you gave Bedard 5 games and declared him a bust.
Did you really?
Until I talked him off the ledge. That's
Deserted
true.
desert.
5 games in, he called him a bust.
Deserted
I don't
desert.
know why I did that. Then I watched him and I came back in and I go, no, man. This kid's the real deal. Although he's got to take another step.
Deserted
He was so
Desert's
hyped
good.
up. He was hyped up in St. Louis. People were talking about him.
Wait,
when he
you
came on the scene.
Wait, you said you came back in and gave another. No, I convinced you to.
Okay, fine. But I still
I'm
did
the
it.
hero.
I still did
I'm
it.
the hero.
I still realized I was wrong.
I've
Look
met
at the 90s girls. They have bell bottoms on and like a Foo Fighters shirt.
That's true. The girls went to high school,
What a
except for
random-
my lovely wife.
What a
She wore
random
like dresses and stuff.
criticism.
But most girls had like, jeans and tennis shoes on. with, I don't know. It's all
When?
good.
What are you
In
talking?
high school.
I want to play these all
I
day.
feel
You'll
like
see
now,
me throwing hundos, and you'll see Andy throwing 20s.
oh, Andy's not throwing any money around, I'll tell you that. He does go on vacation a lot. I've never seen his wallet before. Never. Seen yours?
Zip it, fairy winks.
God. Monster. You keep everything? Put in there? Keep.
You know why it's so inflated?
What
Because
is it?
when I'm on the road, I have to take expense,
That's what it is, baby.
and so I keep receipts, and then I don't throw them all out. And next thing you know, I have a balloon wallet.
What's the hardest part of your job? What's the hardest part of your job? Just to let her know she wants to get in the game.
It's not.
What do you think?
It's just time crunch. If you have, for example, an afternoon game and they had a night game the night before, it doesn't mean you have less content to produce for your pregame show. Now, sometimes the players don't take that into consideration if they're arriving right. Sometimes they call it show and go, meaning they're late arriving and they're not going to take BP and they're just going to go play because they've been in a tough stretch of games. And you have to navigate that so you can tell your producer, all right, I got this, this, and this, as opposed to going, no one's around, so back to you. That's all. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy job. You maintain relationships with the guys on a work friend type basis, and then they'll usually not leave you hanging.
Cam, what's it like knowing you're going to hell?
Sometimes they do.
That's true, though. You got to get to know the players.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll leave you hanging anyway because
they're
they got other things to do. You have to remember.
thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
No, they're not there. They're thinking about the game and winning.
Okay.
They're not thinking, hey, Jim might need a soundbite from me.
No doubt.
Let me walk out of the batting cage and make sure he has what he needs.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's the hardest part is trying to maintain that. But the guys, for the most part, are pretty good, and that's the only hard part.
He's got a one-eyed cat. He wants me to adopt it. I can't do that. I like two-eyed cats.
That is 100% true. That was David Backus trying to get me to get another kitty cat. I already had Boo at the time. I couldn't handle two. So
Yeah, but I
that's
feel
why
like-
I didn't.
There's only 3 eyes, though.
Yeah, it sounded like the reason you didn't want it was the one eye.
I would adopt anything. I adopt animals, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, my whole life. My parents did. Boo came in, was on the side of the road in a shoebox, saved her life. Me and Kate adopted 2 puppies 5 years ago in a place in Baldwin. Who knows where they'd be right now? Now they're in Lovelyville. We
Why-
save doggies.
Why don't you tell her about your charity work? You do some of that extensively.
No, they
Go ahead.
Tell Burleson's fat ass to eat the burger phone and make it go away forever.
I don't like doing anything for free anymore, because I was a yes man for a long time doing charity stuff. Jamie does free charity stuff. I get paid to do it. I'm kind of a scumbag like that. They asked me to go down to Mexico and build homes. I said no. What else did I say no to?
That's hosier.
A lot
That's
of stuff.
hosier.
I'm just saying.
Being a yes man to charity, like I'm a yes man for the cart.
What's wrong with
okay?
that?
Like that's what a yes man.
It's work.
You're not a yes man if you do charity work.
I've just discovered
I was
something.
doing all kinds of stuff.
I've discovered something here in the chats. Why did you hate the burger phone so much? Or in the
'Cause it's
in the
nerdy.
in the I've
I didn't
discovered
like
this
these
in the
guys.
drops.
No.
These guys hated anything that was fun.
I like what they do now.
The
What's
burger
up?
phone is the most embarrassing thing I've seen a St. Louis sports team do.
It was embarrassing.
Tell Burleson's fat ass to eat the burger phone and make it go away forever.
That wasn't me.
It sounds like a text.
That wasn't me. I just thought that, and when they did the pepper shaker, I'm not even going to do what they do. Not going to do it. I thought that was weird too. But then this one's cool. Or the other one that they did was kind of cool.
No, but if Cole were
I'm
here,
sorry. This is cool.
Yeah.
This is what's cool to you. This
Yay,
that's
I'm
what's cool to
flying.
you.
let me
Better than don't make me do it. Don't make me do it.
let me dissect.
Do it.
Don't make me do it.
Do it right here.
I'm not doing
Do
it.
it right in front of you.
No.
If Cole were
Listen,
here,
I watch CNN.
if Cole were here, Cole would convince him that it's stupid to do also. What do you mean? You lost
Matt, it's Cole here.
5 out of 7 and you're flapping your wings. You would hate that.
You're probably right. You're probably right. There's some, if the Blues did something nerdy, I'm going to chirp them too. Everybody's up for grabs when it comes to. Hey Cam, tell her about when you saved that guy from flooding. I saved 2 people's life.
I don't
swear to
want
God.
charity.
Not just because Jimmy and I saved the kitty cat, but I was out late one night and I got up with my buddy and we were downtown and we're coming home through Manchester and where the train wreck is, and there was a flash flood, boom. And this old man in a car is like, nah, what do I do? He pulls right into it. And we're sitting there like this, and I had to run in there and grab him, try to open the door. I go, unlock that door. And he finally did. He opened it up, water's rushing in. I grabbed him, dragged him out, laid him down. That was one person's life. I also saved the guy's life.
I didn't bang my billet, Mom.
Oh, why would you do that? You need to calm down back there. Caitlin's here. It's a different kind of show today, Matt Rocchio. Anywho,
What are we doing? We're talking about how great we are.
it's a slow news day.
That's why
Dave, give us something.
No, Dave.
Jim, thank you so much for understanding. Thank you so much for understanding why I played that drop. Thank you so much for understanding the exact reason why I played that drop of all drops.
They brought it up. You know. Anyway, get him in.
Attention whore in St. Louis.
Iggy and Andy.
I didn't know. I stopped the drop for a reason.
Okay. By the way, this is the Lou Information Station live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can call in the show at 855-282-8255. You could also text into the show at 314-590-3770. And we're also on YouTube. Hi, everybody. What's up? Go to Lou Info on YouTube. Press it. Boom. Right there. You can see us. We're going to go to break. We'll be back. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
A quiet.
Broadcasting live from the Jim Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood. This is the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com with live and on-demand content on YouTube. And catch all of our local shows on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing. Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat. The roar of the crowd. The boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack of summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands. Because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song. Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
LouInfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A man accused in a deadly explosion that killed 4 people in North St. Louis County in 2022 is going to trial. Terrell Cooks is accused of being involved in an illegal fireworks operation that led to the explosion of a home on Parker Road in Blackjack. The victims were between the ages of 16 and 21. Cook faces several felony charges. A man is facing charges for allowing children and dogs to live in deplorable conditions in Jefferson County. Alexander Bowen will appear in court on Wednesday, August 13th. A road in North St. Louis collapsed on Monday and happened in the 2700 block of North Broadway between Montgomery Street and St. Louis Avenue. The St. Louis Street Department blocked the road while crews worked on repairs. There are reports that the summer heat may have made the road buckle. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley's making a stop in St. Louis today. The Republican lawmaker is scheduled to hold a press conference to talk on the expansion of the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act being signed into law as part of President Trump's new bill. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We do have a chance of a shower or thunderstorm later on today, but overall not expecting much rain. Partly sunny, upper 80s. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the low 70s. We get a mix of sunshine and clouds on Tuesday. Still pretty warm. We're going up to 90. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Fairly good chance of rain again on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Janssen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City. 314-344-4400.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
In your city with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high energy, high impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of this city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life. In your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station. Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Yeah, let's go. 8:36 Tuesday, the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. This is Hot Take Central 2.0. Cam Janssen, Matthew Rocchio, Jim the Cat Hayes, Caitlin McDermott, sitting in, hanging out, probably rolling your eyes like this is a show, you know?
I'm very entertained.
Okay. Oh, well, good. Well, good, because it is a little bit of a slow news day. If you guys want to, by the way, chime in, you can at 314-590-3770. You could also go to YouTube and type in Lou Info on YouTube, and then we pop up, and you could chirp and wave to us or whatever you want to do. Hi, Jim.
You know what I have here?
What?
I have the list of the people
Epstein
that pilfered the funds from the Rams settlement. I have names.
I am so confused right now.
You know, the Rams settlement that we don't know.
Where's the money?
We don't know who got the rest of it. It's gone. I don't have the list. There never was a list.
Pam Bondi is a joke. Well, they look stupid right now. And they're getting chirped like no other. I feel bad for what's her name, White House Secretary Levitt, whatever her name is. She's backpedaling like no other. Boy, were they confident. Where is it?
The worst is they handed out fake folders to influencers,
and they come out like, "We have it. We have it."
It's so bad.
It's really bad.
So it tells me something. It tells me for them to do that, and then to look this bad, saying, nope, there's not a list, move on.
Something more.
Something's bad. Now, everyone's going to say, oh, Trump must be on it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true. I don't know. Except I tend to believe if the previous administration had access to this, which they did,
yeah,
it would have been out
totally
in, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So to me, there's something more. And the more I think about it, I think everyone's name was on it, and they don't want to destroy American government.
Yeah.
I don't know.
From the top down, or he's using it to, I don't know, get some leverage on some deals. I don't know.
How so?
I don't know.
Hey, my name's on the list.
Or your name's on it. This is what deal I want to do with you. Britain or wherever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
What do you think it is then? What do you think? If you had to guess, Jimmy, you know about this stuff. You're a smart guy.
If I had to guess, there's names across party lines on there.
Yeah.
The big dogs.
Yeah.
That would all take a tumble. And they might have just said, doesn't exist. Because once you can't weaponize it against the other party, because all parties are involved.
Yeah.
That's how I think something like this.
But don't you think that they thought of that
earlier? I'm not hearing. I hate when people say that, and I just did. I haven't seen on the Twitter tweets the big Democrats saying, where's the list? I see like influencers saying it, but
not like Pelosi and whatnot.
Right. So that tells me maybe there was some sort of treaty arranged.
Yeah.
Just to save face on all parts.
Oh,
but I
it's
don't
so weird. It's so weird.
It's really bizarre.
Of all they've done some good stuff. I mean, it's loud. It's crazy going on right now. Don't get me wrong. They've done some good stuff. This was bad. This looks stupid.
Now, part of it is there's a million.
Excuse me.
It's fascinating. So the camera on the guy's cell, Epstein, wasn't functioning, which is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
But I, from what I'm reading, enough people have seen all the cameras around that would have indicated someone else going into a cell, and they haven't found anyone going into a cell. Now, if you're the CIA, maybe you can get that done. There's all kind of tricks you could play electronically that I don't even understand because it's too technical for me. But to me, the fact that he might have committed suicide on his own, I don't believe it, but I could believe it. I could. Like, it's not that far a stretch. But the fact that you had a list and you don't have a list, I can't even wrap my brain around.
And remember they filmed Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, their his big eyes are opened up. Like, well, what's going? They're like, well, he did not. Jeffrey Epstein did in fact commit suicide. Like, they looked so. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And if you talk to, I like when they interview former prisoners, and they're like, you know how hard it is to kill yourself in a jail cell. Like, you can't just hang from, there's nothing, they build these cells for you specifically not to be able to do that. And so the weight you'd have to have and just like the balance and where you would have to have the rope, it just doesn't make any sense. So they're lying, of course. It's all lies. Just like this show, we lie about everything.
We try not to, but sometimes we do.
So
you're right, shoulder. Oh, Hayes again.
Oh, let's see here.
So you touched on something with Rock. Rock, you asked him for the temperature of Cardinal fans. I remember he went like, oh, he went way up. I don't know if that was like a Larry David thing.
Yeah, I couldn't control it. It just happened. Out of nowhere. Jim, I just couldn't control it.
They're mad. It's one thing if you get shut down by the Pirates. Okay, that was weird. And then the Pirates go to Seattle, and Seattle shuts down the Pirates.
Yeah.
But if you get beaten up by the Cubs, that's gonna put Cardinal fans on tilt. And they lost 2 out of 3, and the win was good, but the 2 losses were bad and tough to watch. So I get that they're ticked off.
I didn't even feel that good about the win. It was a bullpen start for the Cubs, and you still needed heroics late in the game to actually get a W. And while Matthew Liberatore had a fine start, it was a fine start. It wasn't what he was putting out in early June for the team. And so I'm not going to criticize a win. I just think that even saying, well, they got 1 win, it's like, yeah, but there were a lot of cracks even in that 1 win.
Any pitcher, that's what makes the fact that the Cardinals' bats were kind of quiet. The wind's blowing out in at least part of the ballpark.
That's a good point.
So I thought Libby did a pretty good job of managing that. So I thought that was a good, solid win after a bad loss, put them back on track. And then on Sunday, it was awful. So I get that but we've seen, and maybe this is a rights holder take, but they do punch back. It's a term that I've used, but there's really no other better term for how they operate. They usually punch back. And we've seen already that resiliency that we see sometimes in games where the season looks like it was going over the edge and they pull it back, right? We've seen that too. That's why I don't think all is lost. Although the starting pitching is a concern, more to me than the offense.
Once again, Mo telling the fans one thing and doing the opposite. Supposed to be giving the young guys a chance. Rooster, Birmingham.
Well, I think the season that was going to be runway turned into a season where you guys are in the thick of it.
Also, I think you need to be logical in that the Cardinals have always treated young pitchers and young hitters differently. There's a mathematical equations that go into them bringing up young pitchers. They don't like to add more than like 30 innings onto what they pitched last year. Like, there are certain numbers that go into how they bring up young pitchers that aren't in the equation when you're bringing up young hitters. And so Michaelis getting them through May and eating all those innings was a big deal because they needed May to give McGreevy some time to work down there. And you needed May so that McGreevy wasn't going into a situation where he was trying to get 20 plus starts at a major league season this year, because that wasn't something they were ever going to do with him this year. And so you have to just be logical about the realities of how they handle these things. And there is a slight difference with how they handle young batters and how they handle young pitchers. Am I wrong?
No, I think there's truth to that. But to me, the way it shook out is you had a starting rotation that was fine, middle of the pack. Like maybe you weren't getting the deepest starts, but the starters were putting them in a position to win the games, and they were winning their share of games. So you don't mess with that, right? And then you see where you are, and then you figure, let's see if we can add or help, or maybe if we're going to deal, let's deal the redundancy. But, now it looks different because they're coming off a really bad stretch. But if you're in the thick of it, you don't mess with it, right?
Rock, what would you want them to do? What would you want Mo to do?
Trade everyone.
I've been pretty adamant here. I think you need to pull the plug on Michaelis, in my opinion. Apparently they're okay with pulling the plug on Fetty because I guess in their mind there's no way they're going to be able to resurrect any trade value in the next 3 weeks. But I think if you're going to pull the trigger on Fetty, you also just need to eat the money on Michaelis and say this is what it is. And I think you pull the trigger. McGreevy comes up. Him and Matz both take over the rotation spots. You bring up Graceffo, you bring up Granillo. But, I mean, you might not like the rationale, but you have the quotes from John Mozeliak to Katie Wu in The Athletic, where he talks about how they're not confident in who's behind McGreevy to pull people up. And I think some people are going to read that as, oh, well, they need to make sure Memphis has arms, and I don't care about Memphis. I think it's more that if you DFA Michaelis and then McGreevy gets hurt or Liberatore gets hurt or Palante gets hurt, now who's going to take over that fifth starting spot as you now bump McGreevy up to third, Matt's up to fourth? Who's your fifth start? There's not another starting arm because so many people have gotten injuries in the minors. And
some haven't lived up to potential.
And some have not lived up to potential. And I know fans are not going to like to hear that, but that's a reality. I know yesterday on Randy's show, somebody brought up to Koa Roby. Listen, sub 3 ERA at AA, but he's gotten 5 starts at AAA, and he's gotten banged around for a 5 ERA. Not bringing him up to the majors after that happens. So to Mozeliak's point, they don't have the bodies behind McGreevy. The point is, though, some fans are going to take that as a rational reason. Some fans are going to say that's ridiculous and I don't accept it. And you can't have a conversation with the second group of people.
Think about this. The Cardinals starting rotation has been injury-free, which never happens.
Never happens.
And if you look at when guys start to break down, for the most part, it starts to happen now.
Yep.
So there's a potential that you could get a tweak or a twist on 2 guys. And then where's your rotation if you don't have the guys to replace them? So I do think there's some logic in it. That's all.
What do you think, Caitlin? What would you do?
Oh, God.
Talk about being put on the spot. That's radio for you. No, you don't have to answer that. I don't know either, so don't worry about it. The DeWitts need to expedite the John Mozeliak exit. It's starting to look dumb hearing from a guy who will not be here in a few months when his replacement is in the building.
Why is it dumb? No, I mean, it is what it is. Like, so Mo shouldn't speak. He's still running it now.
Yeah.
And I don't think wants to talk until it's his time. We saw that when they had the announcement that Heim would be taken over, and Heim answered a few questions and was gone and didn't do the scrums afterwards. I think in his mind, he was like, it's not my time. It's still Mo's time. So Mo shouldn't speak?
Yeah, I don't know.
His answer to me was when I asked, all right, scenario, because he was saying, we don't know where we are actually to predict how we're going to handle the trade deadline. We need a little more time. By the way, that's not saying be patient, fans. That's him saying we need more time to evaluate where we really are. But I said, all right, let's say you guys bounce back and you're in the thick of it. Are you guys going to be aggressive to add in terms of adding someone? And he said, I'd be hopeful on that. Now, he don't make the call on his own. DeWitt has to sign off on it, but I took that as semi-positive.
I get you. Very good take, Rocchio. Cardinals told us this year was development, so let's do it. Michaelis and Fetty are not the future.
You're not going to – look, Rocchio was right about this. You're not going to develop –
Rocket's pissed.
You're not going to develop pitchers at the major league level. It just doesn't happen that way. So if a guy makes a jump, say, to AAA and struggles, you're not going to bring him up.
Yeah.
You're going to wait to see him get his legs under him at one level because it's quite a jump going from AA to the major. It's happened. It's happened with pitchers. But yeah.
Just like completely, you can mentally just completely destroy them by calling them up. They get hammered,
get smoked,
and now they don't know what to work on. Everything's turned around. That would be forcing it to a bad point. And so, listen, there's plenty of things to criticize, but I just don't think you can logically say, well, you can just throw young pitchers around like you can young hitters. And so like there's a lot of criticisms in how they've handled the runway and development of a lot of the young hitters, and I think there's a lot more space to say, why are we handling it this way? Why are we giving this person at bats instead of this person? When it comes to the young hitters, I think there's a lot more room to criticize how they've handled the young hitters than there is with the young pitchers, because again, it's a completely different, it's apples and oranges handling those two groups. And to Jim's point, just a moment ago, I don't know if you can criticize how they've handled the pitching staff this year overall. And it's just, they've gotten a lot of health in the majors, but the minors have gotten just decimated by a lot of elbow injuries and other little things, to the point where, Robertsay's been out of the conversation. Jerpy's been out of the conversation. Ting Hence just finally got back into the conversation. Okay. Quinn Matthews, if he didn't have that injury, maybe he could have gotten fast-tracked to the point where he'd be having a couple AAA starts. I'm not saying that's what the Cardinals would have done, but it could have been. And if Quinn Matthews has 3 or 4 incredible AAA starts, we're having a different conversation. But he got injured, and that's not the reality.
Who's that cat that had his pitching debut a couple years ago for the Cardinals? And all his parents were there. And
Mike Myers.
Yeah,
that was bad.
He got lit up pretty bad.
He's still pitching though.
Is he?
He's
had himself
a solid career. Yeah,
really nice kid.
Yeah,
had one of the worst debuts you could possibly have.
Oh, unbelievable! And the camera.
I think that was a national game.
I feel like the director of that game in the truck afterwards was like, I need to do a little self-reflection on how I direct a game, because that was cruel and unusual.
He just had to pan out on him.
He just kept handing to the family like 19 times. And it was like, somebody tell the director that you're killing, you're hurting people right now, my guy. It was bad.
That's why if I talk to families of a youngster making their debut, I'd rather do it when they're not hitting. Like, you could get lucky. And right. And they hit a homer or something. I think it's happened where someone's gotten their first hit, but for the most part, you don't want to be there when the kid strikes out or the kid's getting lit up. Like, you want to interview him maybe when he's not pitching, like the other half of the inning or something.
Andy did that with, I think, his first goal was interviewing, I think, Jake Neighbors' dad.
And he
scored.
Yeah, that was great.
That was really cool.
815, I think, has a good point, because there is the reality of the things happening off the field that you have to consider, but there is also what happens between the white lines is real. And 815 says, absolutely cannot have Miles and Fetty in the rotation any longer. It kills the morale of the club, meaning the players all know that when they take the field, they're already behind the 8 ball.
Kind of like when Waino was doing that.
I think that is a reasonable criticism of not pulling the trigger despite all the other contingencies, because what does it say to your team when you are kind of waving the white flag for 40% of your starters? I guess now it'll only be 20% because they're going to probably pull the trigger on
that's
Fetty.
Getting lit up all the time.
A little bit. I think that's not a bad point by 815, especially when part of the connection is, can we turn things around and make a push to the point where we need to make a move because we're a playoff team.
Do you really think if they bring up an unnamed pitcher who is a 4 ERA at AAA just to make a move, do you think the team is like, yes, it's not Miles, we're going to win this one?
No,
I don't think so.
I think this will be so. This will be kind of more Cam's kind of idea, like you I guess, because you suck, you're having a rough run, and you say, let's change out like a third line center. Does anyone care about that in the locker room? Does that matter at all? Does it, like, if the guy was just dogging it that he's replacing, is that material at all? I feel like Cam's got a better perspective here.
Usually that doesn't. Usually, if you're playing bad, you're getting demoted quick in hockey. It's more of a goalie, where you're probably showcasing a goalie and everybody's back there. You can't handle the puck. He's letting in everything. That kills you. You could replace guys in and out of the lineup and sit them down on the bench a little bit more, forward group. Maybe a big defenseman that's logging because he's in.
Actually, I think goalie's a good one because you're on an island. Your
directly affects your
role's
mindset.
completely different. So I mean,
it does even when I'm skating in the alumni.
The pitcher. Third line center doesn't.
Yeah, but exactly. so to your point though, a goalie change, saying, listen, this guy cannot handle it, even if it's maybe even the backup, because we're talking about the fourth and fifth starters here. The guy who's still gonna get a game once every week or so. You're still thinking that one game every 5 games. This is gonna be a rough one, boys.
Yeah. We roll our eyes at each other when we skate with the alumni when we get one of the goalies that we are like, oh no, direct affects you, man.
So I think there's something to it.
Mo should bring in John Lester and J.A. Happ. It worked last time.
J. Happ.
.A Happ.
No, that's how it worked. The guy it was J.A. Happ, but he wanted to be called J.
It's about time.
Here's I think a misnomer or a myth too. Hey, players don't want teams to add because they are very confident in what they're doing, and that's not true. Like I'm telling you, it's not true. Teams that are like on the cusp but need a piece, every player, they know it might affect someone on the roster, one of the guys that they want that piece.
Of course.
If you add something, it's going to...
Yeah, no.
That's insulting the team. They have pride.
Yeah. The guy directly getting replaced is bothered. Because like Kirk Cousins just came out and said he was bothered by them drafting... the cat, I'm blanking on his name right now. The quarterback, he was bothered by that. So there is one guy in the locker room who's bothered by them adding. But you asked him a week before about adding at a different position, and he's all for it.
There it is. Funny how that works,
And also the rest of the guys, even if it impacts them outside of like the guy who's not going to be on the roster anymore, if they believe that they're a good team and can make some noise, there's a paycheck. There's more money coming.
Hey, Kat, will Miles and Fetty be invited to the All-Star game to pitch for the home run derby, Spartan 4-4?
You haven't seen that already? I got 12 of those on my
I've seen 14 versions of it.
Me too, dude. Let's see here. Talk about bad trades. How about Mo trading Tommy freaking Edman for Tommy Pham and the worst pitcher on our team?
It's almost like that was a year ago, and a bunch of things happened in between now and then.
That was from the 314. Okay. This is the Lou Information Station live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can get them in 314-590-3770. We're going to go to break. We will be right.
You got into this a little too early, buddy. I was trying to give you 30. I was giving you 20. Now you're at 10.
I can't see it.
I was trying to give you times.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to break. Hot takes into 2.0.
Jesus Christ.
Let's talk about your health insurance. There are a lot of reasons why people need affordable health insurance. But here's the bottom line. You know you need affordable health insurance. For you, a spouse, a family member, whatever. I'm going to give you a free hotline to call to find affordable health insurance that can cover all your health insurance needs in case you get sick or have an emergency. Plus, cover vision, dental, and more. And there are no long-term commitments. You can keep your plan as long as it's affordable. And for the price of a cup of coffee. We're not talking about one of those fancy coffees. For the price of a regular cup of coffee a day, you can have quality, affordable health insurance. Call the Health Insurance Hotline for a free quote.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. That's 800-373-8414. All aboard!
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak, and there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States.
All aboard!
Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today.
800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. That's 800-428-9517.
The Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis. News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen.
So what's his handle?
GetBC.com.
You're gonna need lawyers, right?
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel, a delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here, and when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Hey, listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet. I'm about to explode, pop like a balloon. You're using me and my brothers way too much. Your credit cards aren't the only ones annoyed. It's your paycheck that doesn't have enough to pay everything. Save your credit cards, your paycheck, and yourself a lot of PAIN. Pain. Call the debt helpline now, not tomorrow, right now. Our experts will show you how you can cut your interest rates and your payments on your credit cards in half. Credit card companies' special assistance programs designed to help you. Make this 100% free call right now and learn how you could get out of credit card debt. Here's the number.
800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. That's 800-406-6569. Paid for by Zero Debt.
The Lou Information Station presents Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
Yeah, baby, let's go. Lou Information Station live and on demand at louinfo.com. Cam Janssen, Jimmy the Cat Hayes, Matthew Rocchio, Caitlin McDermott hanging out with the boys. You can call in if you want, 855-282-8255. You can also text in 314-590-3770. What do you mean, Cam? Huge news day today. TSA no longer requiring us to take off our shoes through security. My eyes are finally free from seeing gross bare feet touch that dirty airport floor. Put those damn things away. Oh, that's so gross. Do you wear shoes and socks to the airport, Caitlin? Yeah, thank you.
People weren't wearing socks to the airport in the shoes?
No, Andy does that. He wears sandals. And he takes it.
I have a lot of reasons
His disgusting
to want to
feet.
like push Andy into a lake.
He's got gross feet too. And I don't like it. What did you just say?
So I have a lot of reasons I want to push
You're
Andy.
losing me
I
money.
want to push Andy into a lake, and that's one of them.
Wow. Rock doesn't like Andy. No, I think I know why.
What do you mean?
I think I know why.
I
think I know why.
Whoa.
No, you don't. You don't like strip. You don't like
Oh
strip.
yeah, I do. That's a fun. That's a great little.
What if he
prank to pull on a
drowns? He's
friend.
got 3 children.
If he can't swim,
And a wife.
if he can't swim at this point in his life, well,
it's true.
Kind of deserves it at that point, doesn't
don't
he?
chirp too hard because there's some guys that are in here
he?
that can't swim.
Who can't swim?
Who do you think?
You can't swim?
You think I can't swim? I grew up on the lake.
Jim,
What do you mean?
Jim, you can't swim?
No, he could swim. Caitlin can swim, but he's been in the show before.
Oh, who couldn't? Oh,
Come on, Cameron. Come on. Who is it?
Can he not swim?
Maddie?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I want to take him to the Lake of the Ozarks, and I can't do it.
How can you not swim as an adult? It doesn't make sense.
You know, his mom even texted in and goes, "Damn you, Maddie," because we kept talking about it, and she's like, "No, I tried, and he wouldn't do it. He can't swim, so I can't take him anywhere where there's water."
I don't understand how people can't swim.
I don't either. My buddy's Kate's one of Kate's best friends. She's from Brazil. And they live out in the Jersey Shore. They have a huge shore house with all kinds of stuff. My buddy's awesome, good buddy of mine. She can't swim. We took her to
She's
Lake
from
Ozarks.
Brazil and she
We
can't
took her to
swim?
yes, well, Sao Paulo. So that's in the middle.
Man.
But we take her to Lake Ozarks. We have to watch her like she's a child.
Isn't Sao Paulo on the coast?
I don't think so. I think maybe Sao Paulo is, but she's from in the middle of Brazil, like in a
okay.
Yeah. So, but we had to watch her. Like, where's she at? Man, don't get too close.
No, Sao Paulo's not on the coast. You're fine. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 30 million people there
It's
too.
not that far from the coast. It's like a 30-minute drive.
But it's not like Rio de Janeiro.
No.
You know, it was. How do you not learn how to swim?
I don't get it.
Man, oh man!
Like as a kid, I knew a lot of kids who didn't know how to swim, but like I understand that, like your muscles aren't developed and everything like that. But like as soon as you become an adult, like unless you're like morbidly obese, I don't get how
that makes you buoyant.
You're right, you should be. I don't get how you're just not figuring out. Like, don't fight the water, and you'll be fine.
There it is.
That's how
it
people
happens
drown
all the time.
They fight the water, and that's really that's.
Where do I go? No,
they do
relax.
this. They do this thing, and that's what screws you. I just don't understand it.
When did you learn to swim?
I think Strick will be fine if I push him in the water. I just think it would be funny, especially because Strick seems like the kind of guy who's wearing shoes. Who he'd be like, I'm wearing shoes that can't get wet.
Jimmy, he doesn't like Strick. He doesn't like him.
I do.
I like screwing with Strick. I really enjoy poking.
If you try to throw Strick into the lake,
I can't.
I know why.
Yes.
I would defend Strick.
I can't help but screw with Strick. He's so much fun to mess with.
I know why.
I can't help it.
Tell me.
Because Rock comes in here. He's part of the show. He's part of the show. When Rock did Andy's show, he's not part of the show. And, you know, I'd be kind of pissy too. Like, I'm in here with you. Like, talk to me. Never did it. And that would kind of.
I never had a problem with not talking on Andy's show. I was fine with that because when Andy did a show most of the time, it was on remote. I would go there and I'd set up the remote. I didn't really want to talk. It was that Andy would be like, why are you correcting me on Frank's show? And I'd be like, well, because you're wrong. Oh, so obviously I'm going to correct you.
Okay. When you guys did it with Charlie Tuna, when he was on with Frank and talking basketball, and then he's acting like he knows what he's talking about with basketball, and you're like, no.
Rock,
that's great.
Look at me, baby.
That's great.
What's up, buddy?
Are you mad at Strick because he didn't recognize your talent?
No, I don't have a lot of talent.
That was it, Cam. I think you were right. I could see the hurt in his eyes.
I know it is.
Strick would get really mad at me because he would say things. He'd be like, "This doesn't exist. This doesn't happen." And I go, Strick, it's happening. You just don't know about it, which means your ignorance of the fact doesn't belie its existence. And he would do it over and over again. And I tell him that all the time, and he would not like that. And so me and Strick get along really well.
Oh, real well.
It's just that we very much like to poke each other.
Clip that off too, by the way.
Okay.
No, I will not.
But Strick is pretty knowledgeable.
Strick knows his stuff. Oh my God, yeah.
And the slop
about hockey.
Wait.
And the slop. Hold on. And the slop was the most popular segment in the history of radio.
If you ask Frank that, yeah.
Boy, they pumped that up, didn't they? Man, oh man.
He still does it, I think.
Tuna
a lot of trans news.
Oh God, that's funny.
Tuna would tell us how that was the number one segment. Like they had a network television deal.
By the way,
ABC, they turned it down.
By the way, guys, make sure you tune into Tuna Show today at 12:05. Bob Costas will be joining Charlie Tuna Show. Yes, he will. You just not check your text messages.
No.
Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I actually don't. When I'm doing this, I feel like it's rude as hell.
Well, we had a break.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still didn't.
That was it live, or did he tape it like 2 weeks ago?
I think it's gonna be live.
All right, because who was the guy that he was going to do, and then he taped it, and then he
Barack Obama?
No, remember there was like a big name guy, and he was like, it might have been Costas. Remember when we were before?
I remember
we destroyed the station.
Yeah,
and he was on with us, which is always a delight,
of course.
And he was talking about this big get. It might have been Costas, and then he was like, "It's going to be next week. We're going to tape it." And then he taped it allegedly, and then didn't play it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that was John Mosaic. And there was like big time news then, but then they didn't tape it for like 2 weeks later.
Colton Carragher says it was Mo.
It was Mo.
Ellipsis 150. I don't care if you wear sandals to the airport. That doesn't bother me. But if you take those sandals off at any point and are going around barefoot, you are disgusting.
You have to take them off to check through.
I think outside of security.
Yeah, but that's disgusting anyway. It's so gross.
Are you a sandals guy?
No.
Is the bottom of the feet really that much worse?
Because your feet are gross?
No. Well,
yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, because if things need to go down, I need to have my shoes on, baby. Running around in sandals. I can't save anybody's life doing that.
I'm sorry. How often are things, quote unquote, going down?
I don't even use sandals at a beach, anything like that. I'll wear boat shoes, baby.
No, okay.
Come at me. Let's go. I can stand my ground.
That's who he is. I don't like sand. I don't even like flip flops.
I hate them.
Uncomfortable.
You
Cam
look foolish.
Cam seems like the kind of guy who tell me that he always sits with his back away from the door at restaurants.
Smart.
Never
Never
with your back
I
to the door.
I want to see who's coming in and out.
I want
No
Cam
big
on
deal.
my side.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what's up. That's all right. I want to see who's coming in. Maybe I know somebody. But I'm also thinking,
Let me ask you. This is
Maybe I know somebody.
a personal
That's the
question.
issue. Ask Tony.
This is a personal question. Crocs.
no. Although comfortable, I wear them in the shower when after a skate.
I mean, I wear whatever you want. I don't care.
I just think
At the beach, I wear
think,
Crocs. You know why? You could wear them in the water.
I just think
they're
if
not
you have-
falling off your feet.
If you just walk around all day, like you go to different places, you're talking to people, and you have sandals on, you just look lazy. You look lazy to me. I don't know.
JNTX is one of those weirdos who has these rules like this. Men shouldn't wear sandals outside of the beach pool. Men shouldn't listen to stupid rules is my big take.
I agree with him.
Wear sandals over the hell you damn well please.
That's fine. You can do what you want.
Don't-
I'm not going to pass a law.
Don't wear sandals into like nice restaurants. I don't like that.
Or on a freaking plane.
Yeah,
and
that one
most
too,
people
I'm
that
with you
wear
on that.
sandals, their feet are disgusting.
Don't wear sandals on a plane just because like
their feet are gross.
Like wear socks and a comfortable pair of shoes.
Yeah, no
like I understand
doubt.
you want to be comfortable, but like I'm not 100% confident in everyone's foot hygiene. So just don't be airing it out. Yeah, keep the sandals for when you land in Florida, not for the flight there.
So that's news now that people don't have to take their shoes off for TSA because they didn't.
At some airports,
Yeah, not at Lambert.
Wherever I was the last flight. Oh, I was flying back.
They've been
no
changing
shoes.
rules left, right, and center.
So this
the
is
same airports. You go to the same airport within 2 weeks, and depending on what devices they have or if they have dogs present, it's different rules every time you go through now.
Right.
I agree,
and different rules, and then they change them, and then they're different, and then they talk down to you.
They talk down to you.
Sir, you need a separate bin for your laptop.
Sir, why is your laptop in a separate bin?
right.
Shut
Wait,
up.
Hold on a second. Last time I had to have a separate bin. No, why is it in a separate bin? You're wasting bins.
Your backpack goes in a bin. You just told me a week ago it didn't go in a bin.
Or my favorite one is
How about
also
this? Just say the rules. Don't be condescending about it.
That's why you fly private, Caitlin. You know?
that's why you fly private, Caitlin. Not because of the income you have on a daily basis to get you there.
It's real cheap to do. Man, oh man.
That's why you fly private.
Did Tuna ever get his roast? That's where Barack Obama came in because Tuna said that he was going to have a roast of Charlie Tuna. And we're like, who's coming? And I think he said Barack Obama, Costas was coming. God, who other big dog did he say?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah.
He said Barack Obama?
Yeah. You know.
And did he ever have that roast?
I don't think so.
What have you lost more of, your hair or your memory?
Was that to me?
That was still going to you.
To me?
Yeah, so
both.
It's really good.
God. Oh. You know. Yeah. Sandals, don't like it. Bare feet in airports, don't like it. Drives me nuts. Does anything else drive you nuts? Am I crazy on that?
I have one
What
more.
do you got? Nothing does? You say nothing?
So when you go to an airport, they're like, where was I? Chicago. I was Midway. And they're like, we feature local establishments, which is fine. But sometimes in the airport, you don't want to trust anything. Is that me? Or?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Keep talking. You're fine. I'll figure it out.
Like sometimes you just want like a burger from McDonald's, like just so you know what
quick.
it is.
Yep.
You know it's not going to disagree with you. It's not. McDonald's is fine, but sometimes you want a chain where you could just take out. I don't want to sit there with a microbrew.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and I look at the menu like, what's on here?
And you don't, right. So give me something
it's
I'm familiar
all nasty
with.
anyway. It's all nasty. Like the Chili's is not like the food is it's different. I feel like it's cheap.
Chili's is bad.
It's cheap. It's nasty at the airport. You might as well just go to a fast food place that you know it's the same.
And then you take it, you sit at your gate.
Oh God. The worst food I've ever had though was at Six Flags. Oh God. That was disgusting. And I'll eat it.
It's not like it's not like you're biased about the place in the first place.
I hate it.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate that place.
Because they have scary rides and you get scared.
And it's nasty.
But you get scared on the
I got
ride.
freaked out. I thought I was going to die. I had a panic attack. And Kate was watching, like filming, like Cam's having fun. And then once it started slowing down, she saw my eyes. She's like, oh God, it's over for the day. Over.
You didn't recover?
No. I was freaking out, soaking wet. Like, ugh. I went on one of the rides at Six Flags, took my little nieces. It's going to be Uncle Cam Day. What do you want? You take anything you want. Sodas, have it all. What rides you want to go on?
Sodas. He's
Anything you want, take my credit card. I don't care. She's like, let's go on this ride. So I went on the big pendulum, the big one. And I get in there and everybody's like thin and young and I'm overweight. And this thing comes down like, I'm like, and then you go up and it takes so long and you are so high up. You can see that thing for miles. And my harness goes and clicks back. Every time I'm like this, I'm like, it's over. I'm too heavy for this damn thing. I had such a panic attack. It freaked me out for 2 days. Never again. Never again.
My whatever harness was doing that would freak me out.
Yeah, it was like it's gonna.
But they all click. They all click.
Mine clicked more.
They don't. They all click. And
I couldn't breathe.
I took my kid. I'm scared on those rides too. But if you're a father and your kid wants to go, you pretend like you're not scared. Okay?
I couldn't.
You don't show the fact that you're being traumatized. You get on those rides, and then when he's old enough, you go, I'm not going on those anymore because it scares me. But when they're little, you can't show fear. You're with your nieces.
I'm
you
a
can't show. You can't show fear.
I had to, man. I had to. It was really. It really messed me up. It really did. Let's see. Or get them in, by the way. 314-590-3770. You could also go to YouTube, by the way. Go to Lou Info on YouTube. You want to walk with me in hell? Oh, my God.
That was a little.
Wow. Did that not rock your ears?
You guys' headphones are turned up too high. That's why we're getting feedback. You guys' headphones are up way too high.
I almost had another panic attack.
That was up.
What's going on
That was
here?
a little loud, but it was not so loud that it should have freaked you out to that point,
No,
Cam.
it rocked me.
Yeah, we were also getting feedback on your mic, I think, from your headphones. So I think your headphones are up a little
You know
high.
what you missed? Zip it, Fairy Winks. When pre 9/11, man, you could just walk on a plane, easy peasy, barely. I mean, you could just walk, but it was pretty loosey goosey.
Hence,
and then 9/11, and then and then the shoe bomber. I think like 5 months after that, they caught that guy going from somewhere to somewhere, and he had a bomb in his shoe. So now you got to take your damn shoe. It just happened. It happened. Now
then there was a guy who had like the
underwear.
who used the water bottle, and now we can't have liquids over 3 ounces.
That's another thing. It's a pain in the ass. And you weren't old enough to see how it was pre 9/11. It was a lot smoother. Now it's just,
Literally, I only know about that from television shows that I was watching pre 9/11. The first time I ever flew was, I didn't fly until 2006, 2007. So it was already well established. But like watching television shows in the late 90s, like Friends and stuff like that, you could see just the way they portrayed it, that it was completely loosey-goosey. You're walking right up to the gate.
Your buddies can meet you at the gate.
At the gate. Insane.
And like right when you walk out the gate, they're like, hey, everybody's here to greet you. That was a lovely feeling. Now you got to walk through everywhere. I mean, it's a pain in the ass. It really, really is. So if there's no list, why is Maxwell in prison? Who did she traffic the girls to? It's all an explicit.
Agree.
We
mentioned that yesterday.
They're not saying that Epstein wasn't a sex trafficker. They're saying he didn't keep a client list.
They basically said nothing to see here outside of the list.
Oh,
like someone's in jail.
They're not saying he isn't a criminal. It's just that they're saying the criminal didn't keep a book that allows us to then go after all his clients, which I also think is a lie.
Well, maybe it's not a book. You're saying there's no
Didn't keep
receipts.
books.
There's no whatever.
Any kind of books.
Then
Books being
say he destroyed
general term.
He destroyed all the evidence or whatever. Don't just say there's no list. Like have an explanation.
Yeah.
It looks too fishy.
It looks so bad. It really does. I just Timothy McVeigh'd my bathroom. I ate so many hot.
Nope. We don't have to read that anymore.
Okay.
We're good on that one.
Pizza wallet. If you want to know the temperature of the Cards fans, let's just say you would have to take the temperature. I'm not doing that again.
Nope.
Pizza wallet's trying to get me.
He's trying to get
and
you.
I'm not having it. Do they make you take your sandals off going through security? I understand making them take your tennis shoes off to make sure you are not smuggling anything in there. But sandals, your feet are already out. Yeah, they make you take your sandals off. And it's disgusting. You get things in there, too.
Yeah.
Cut open a little thing and shove whatever contraband you want in there.
It's like prisoners. They have, 24/7 to figure out how to escape. Terrorists have all day to figure out how to smuggle something in. And it's up to the authorities. That's why You try to get through it. You understand what the possibility is, what the threat might be. So all I'm asking is don't yell at me for not knowing the rules that you just changed.
Yelling at everybody like they're children.
But some of them are nice. Some are nice.
And some people are stupid.
Yes.
So, I mean, you're dealing with stupid people a lot. And so they're probably just pissy all day.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. A lot of people don't listen. You know what I mean? Getting herded around. Like, I don't know.
So yeah, if you're getting on a plane, right, and you're in that line before you show your ID and your ticket to get into the main part, right? You're taking your belt off, you're putting your watch somewhere, right? That's the worst part to me.
Oh yeah, and you're waiting for your stuff just in case your wallet's in there. You're watching is that mine? Like I'm waiting for it.
And that could disappear.
And everybody's like sitting down with their shoes off, putting their it's just it
Bitches
sucks.
wanna fly, bitches wanna flow.
Strick.
You ain't going in the lake if I'm there.
Oh
Strick.
no! I gotta save him. I gotta save him. That's gonna directly affect my bottom line.
Right into the lake.
Kate doesn't want him dead either.
Right into the lake.
Just so you know. Oh, there's hatred.
Why can't Andy swim in this scenario?
I don't know. He's not very athletic, although he thinks he is.
That's
he kind of walks like a duck.
He had 8 interceptions as a quarterback in high school. Come on,
he did.
Show some respect.
Oh my God, you would have
show some respect to his athletic career.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
Show some respect.
Look up Parkway North, because he doesn't even tell me how old he is. It's a mystery.
It would have been 1990. I'm guessing 1996 was his junior year in high school.
I think he's 46 years old. Although he looks young. He looks really young. Probably gonna outlive. Who knows? Probably live to
if he was 46, he would have been born in 79.
Yeah. Just see what it says on Parkway North football team. He's so little. He was 90 pounds.
If you go to Parkway,
he was 90
if
pounds.
you go there, someone could research that and find out.
100%.
They keep stats for that.
I saw a picture of him when he was in high school, and he's tiny. And he was playing cornerback. God, throw it to me. Are you kidding? Like, get out of here. Oh, yeah.
He also could have played the NHL.
He could have played. If he only had just one game.
You guys are terrible.
He said that one time on the pod, and I know I'm chirping, but I know he's out of town.
No, he didn't.
He did. He said something to the effect of, God, if I only played one game, you know how much more I'd be able to accomplish or something like that with my job? If only I played one game, meaning like he was in the minors for 10 years and he almost got that call up and it didn't happen. And then I call him out and then he's like, oh, I'm just joking. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. If I only played a game, where I would be right now.
And he played club hockey in college club.
Yeah. I mean, he played for
Parkway. There's no need to take shots at a guy who isn't here to defend himself.
You're right. My bad. He's a damn good dad.
This ain't no damn baseball.
He's a damn good daddy.
It's a football
and a good husband. And a good mom.
And he's a content machine. Good for you, Andy.
Yeah.
But I know I have buddies that played like
he's a good mom and
club
dad.
sports in college and would pretend like, hey, I played at UCLA and I played lacrosse.
If only you played one game.
Wait,
Jimmy.
was that you played? I played club.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know. No, it's
not the same.
We created that fallacy. Let's own it.
I gotta give this kid another shout out, by the way. That's Scott Ruskin, who saved all those lives.
He the pilot?
No, he was a rescue swimmer. First day on the job, he gets that. He's pulling kids out of rubble and this and that, and finding like a little girl still trapped in there's so many crazy, horrific, and
they had this pilot too that was just dropping lines down.
They saved like 1,000 people. Lucky it didn't kill almost. That keeps going up and up and up, the death toll.
So So, Rock, is that Trump's fault because he decimated the National Weather Service?
I was going to ask you that.
No,
too.
What I read was that they don't have is that area has never had very expansive sirens or alert systems because the local municipalities have always voted against putting more tax money into having more sirens and having more alert systems. So that's a local state government mistake, if we want to call it that.
The Weather Service was at adequate staffing is what they said.
Yeah,
they said adequate staffing.
Yeah, and so this is. And again, I'm not saying blame people in the local municipality, but the only thing I've written is that this is a direct, not result, but this is direct. This is connected at least in one way towards the alert systems, towards local municipalities, and maybe state. I'm not aware enough of how this is working, but maybe even state of not wanting to fund those things. And that's not connected to the actual weather services. That's connected to the actual sirens and alert systems on the area.
And sometimes with the people that run those emergency alert
they're
things,
not in the office.
They might be in a meeting, a very important meeting.
They got to hit the button.
Yeah.
You can't have one there.
Exactly.
You can't just leave one there.
I was in a meeting when you have 3 tornadoes coming through our city.
Especially when the forecast said, hey, you might need a warning.
Oh
at this
my
point.
God!
I feel like that lawsuit might have some legs. Aaron on the YouTube says, when is Jim going to run as lieutenant governor for the American Party?
Please do.
I would not run as the American Party candidate.
With the
no, I would run as an independent because I want to represent all people in Missouri.
I like it. There it is.
And I would start with all ATM fees in Missouri banned.
So you're gone. Your opening move as an independent is a regulation on banking.
Yes, I'm going to do away with ATM fees.
Interesting move. Interesting move.
Because they pushed that through. They pushed the ATM fees as a way to save you money. And now they charge you.
Yeah.
And now they charge
you.
And if you want to do some at your branch, ain't no one there.
Opening swing.
Because they've all been. Now here's the other thing.
Opening swing was a regulation.
Here's the other thing. Personal property taxes gone.
Gone.
That's
gone.
Okay. Going the other way now. Going the other way now.
Gone.
How are we going to fund public schools?
Sell more weed.
The lottery.
The two answers from you two is American politics in the last 20 years, just in an entire 2-second thing. The lottery, weed.
1.4 billion. They sold in Missouri alone. $1.4 billion
that was
in marijuana.
Personal property.
We couldn't have.
Personal property tax
we could not have written that better.
Personal property.
Fantastic
taxes.
job, guys.
Think about that though.
It's unbelievable.
You pay for your vehicle, it's taxed beyond. It's a substantial hole.
It's horrible.
And then you have to pay every year. Meantime, you have to get your emissions checked. That's the other thing.
That's another thing. Yep.
The emissions is a money losing endeavor. So those places shut down. You maybe go to your dealership and they do it for you as really a favor. It's a weird thing.
So totally weird. Well, I got lucky because I bring my vehicles to a place and they say, okay, but not everybody could do that. Pain in the ass. So the state property tax has got
personal property.
I'm sorry, personal property tax.
Rooster from Birmingham says ban iPad flips for tips. Like when we're at a place and they always turn the screen around to you to ask for a tip.
Yeah, I mean I'm tipping no matter what. Even at the guys
on the regulation on business, that seems like a very
anyone that works, anyone that works, I'm for.
I'm surprised.
So I'll tip them.
Okay.
I'm surprised the gas station hasn't done that yet. These gas stations.
Well, because the company shouldn't allow it.
I agree.
Okay, I mean, it's a different thing. Like you have your local convenience store, gas station. You want to get in and out. Don't add a step. You're going to hurt your own business.
There you go.
Pay your employees better.
Yeah.
But I am pro. Anyone, look, there's a lot of jobs that are thankless, right? So if someone's in there fighting a good fight, I'm going to support that.
Personal property tax on top of your income tax. Let's see. Unfortunately, though, the two-party system being the way it is, you'll never succeed as an independent.
Oh, I could, because I'm going to reach the common man.
Ross Perot did a decent job back in the day when he spent all that money on ads out the wazoo. You saw his face everywhere. And then
I'm going to get look how good it was.
Yeah, exactly.
JNTX, this is the 1 millionth HTC discussion of tipping.
We're pissed about it.
So you guys have gotten into this before? I'm guessing Charlie had a hard opinion.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember putting on shoes this morning.
Yeah.
So here's my campaign strategy.
Same pair on?
What do you mean?
You got the same pair of shoes on?
I like those Timberlands. Those are Timberlands.
I'm just making sure you put them on correctly.
Oh, the same.
Yeah, the same pair on.
Okay. I thought you meant it's back in the day.
No.
I did that the other day with my socks. Put them on one foot, two of them on one foot, and I couldn't find it.
Two of them. Wait, no. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We were all thinking, you put on a pair of socks that didn't match, but you put socks on one foot?
Yeah, and I couldn't find it.
So can I explain my campaign strategy to you? You might find it interesting. So I'm going to find a big campaign donor. I'm going to have Dave locate a donor because apparently he's good at that. And then I'm going to buy a ton of Adriana's sandwiches. I'm going to have my campaign events catered by Adriana's.
Yes.
I'm going to pay them.
You got to pay them.
They're great people, and that's great food. And I'll hand out free sandwiches, and I will do away with ATM fees and also personal property tax, and I will win handily. Then when it's time to actually do stuff, I just want to go to the banquets and talk about how Missouri is great.
I love how serious people are taking, because we got another one that says Jimmy must not want to win. Running as an independent in this two-party system is a fool's errand. Yeah, Jim, your run for lieutenant governor apparently might not be the most legitimate run out there. I'm shocked.
I want to get. I saw Elliot Davis, follow him on Facebook. He had a long message about crime downtown and stuff like that. I want to get him on and pick his brain a little bit.
Was he saying it's a lot, or?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad Aaron asked this question.
He got deep with it, man.
Cam, is that true? Early Alzheimer's. We can't just bypass the visual that Cam created of him putting the second sock over the first one and then looking around and being like,
I was distracted.
Where is that second sock? Like the amount of times
I didn't even notice that. Okay.
The amount of times that I've been on the phone and told somebody I can't find my phone. We've all been there before.
Oh boy.
We've all been there before, but Cam,
that's a bad one. I
want a videos. I want a sketch replaying the look on your face as you put the second one on, and then you saw an empty foot, and you saw a foot that was socked, and you went, I have no idea how this got here.
And then I'm like, did the dogs take it? No, they didn't. They're not chewing up your sock. And I'm looking around like, did you eat that? Like, no, Daddy, it's on your foot, you moron.
Put the same sock on the same foot.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I love you so much, Cam.
All right, let's regroup. Let's go to break. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is Victor Scott II, and there's something for everyone at Busch Stadium. Meet us at the ballpark on Sunday, July 13th, as the Cardinals take on the Braves. 20,000 fans, ages 16 and up, will score a slick retro warm-up jersey courtesy of Mercy. And 10,000 kids 15 and under can grab a one-of-a-kind Cardinals basketball thanks to the Pasta House Company. It's fun for the whole family. Don't miss it. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotion. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. A man accused in a deadly explosion that killed 4 people in North St. Louis County in 2022 is going to trial. Terrell Cooks is accused of being involved in an illegal fireworks operation that led to the explosion of a home on Parker Road in Blackjack. The victims were between the ages of 16 and 21. Cook faces several felony charges. A man is facing charges for allowing children and dogs to live in deplorable conditions in Jefferson County. Alexander Bowen will appear in court on Wednesday, August 13th. A road in North St. Louis collapsed on Monday and happened in the 2700 block of North Broadway between Montgomery Street and St. Louis Avenue. The St. Louis Street Department blocked the road while crews worked on repairs. There are reports that the summer heat may have made the road buckle. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley's making a stop in St. Louis today. The Republican lawmaker is scheduled to hold a press conference to talk on the expansion of the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act being signed into law as part of President Trump's new bill. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, louinfo.com weather, presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We do have a chance of a shower or thunderstorm later on today, but overall, not expecting much rain. Partly sunny, upper 80s. Overnight, a few clouds, and we're in the low 70s. We get a mix of sunshine and clouds on Tuesday. Still pretty warm. We're going up to 90. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Fairly good chance of rain again on Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Fenton Bar and Grill, home of the best trash wings in the St. Louis area and the best servers in town. Fenton Bar and Grill is located on Rudder Road in Fenton, just minutes away from the soccer park. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., so anytime is a good time to enjoy Fenton Bar and Grill. While you're there, say hi to Chuck, the 2024 Mater D of the Year. And know you'll always be around people that love sports. It's a guaranteed great time at Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn more at fentonbarandgrill.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown & Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown & Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown & Crouppen now.
You've seen this. It's brand new. Are you online?
Oh, hey. Oh, so you're new here.
All right, let's get cracking.
Okay, then maybe you should check out our website.
You're insane.
Well, you download songs illegally from the internet.
LouInfo.com. LouInfo.com. The Lou Information Station. 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Our origin story begins.
Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen.
The most perfectly trained athlete ever.
And Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
I'm an influential and respected man.
On the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
Yeah, baby. 936 in Kirkwood, Missouri. We're in the J. Randolph Jr. studios. We're live on YouTube, too, by the way, if you want to go to Lou Info on YouTube and press the button. And then I'm waving. Hey, how are you? We're doing our thing here. Can't see you yet. Oh, can't see you yet. Hold on. Hi. Wait. Hi. Okay, hi. Hi, everybody. That's Lou Info on YouTube, so check that bad boy out. You could also text into the show at 314-590-3770. Jim.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the pictures of Trump and Epstein hanging out together? And do you not think it's suspicious that Epstein died during Trump's first term and the client list disappeared in his second term?
Yeah, I think it's suspicious.
No doubt.
I thought I was pretty clear about it. I don't know what it all means. But, is that you or me?
I don't know.
That was you.
It's always Jimmy.
Right. It's always me. I always have problems. Yeah, I'll turn the whole thing off. Yeah, it's very suspicious. But I also think if his name were on there and Biden had it, it would have been out.
That's another weird thing.
Teach it. I'm not saying it's not on there. I'm saying maybe the powers that be got together and said, "Hey, all our names are on there. Let's quash that."
It's interesting. Rock, how's St. Louis City doing? Are they okay? Did they sign a couple cats? Did they get some injuries? What's going on with our soccer team?
They haven't signed a couple cats, but it looks like they're going to break their transfer fee record with a 21-year-old Senegalese center back out of the Norwegian League by the name of Fayu Fall. That looks like it's all but done based on the reporting that we're getting out of Norway. But obviously, with these kind of things, it's not it's not across the finish line until it's actually across the finish line.
He's too offensive minded.
It's the other way around. You're close. Say this is too much of a defensive move.
You've seen that guy play?
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I mean, I wasn't commenting on how he plays. Was I?
Yeah, you were correcting me on.
Well, he's a defensive player. So saying that he's too offensive probably isn't a good
aggressive
move.
On the offensive side, getting the ball and moving it as opposed to worried about defense.
No,
that's what I saw when I saw him play for.
You did see him.
Team.
You did see him, didn't you?
At least according to the
watch him
scouting
more than
reports,
Rocket.
that's not the case.
I do love that though, when especially soccer, where no one
That's
knows.
not
who
what
these
anyone.
guys
That's
are.
not what was happening here. It wasn't what was happening here at all.
It was.
It wasn't. You can read scouting reports. I'm not saying I saw it with my own eyes, but
Seemed like you were.
Your joke about what his qualities would be. It was a nice attempt that was actually pretty poor.
Yeah, ask me about the Blues prospects. I'll break them down for you.
Carbonneau, break him down. Go ahead.
Well, he's actually a 6'1", 205. He's built pretty good.
6'1"? What?
He's 6'1", 205.
Yeah.
He's a big kid. He's a big kid with a great shot, and he's got a little snarl to him, Rock. A little snarl. Saw him play at the some highlights from Matthew DeFrank. Wasn't there, but I saw the highlights of him, so therefore I know exactly what's going down with him. Damn good player. It's going to be a great winger. I don't know if he's going to go back to juniors or he's going to go to, I think, Boston
College. I think,
Boston College.
Or
So
Boston University.
he's got to make, because if he goes to the college, you're not going to be able to see him in training camp. So if he goes back to juniors in the Quebec League, he could play in preseason games, and I'll really be able to evaluate him after that. There you go. So anyway, what about the city? Are they taking heat from the fans? Like, what's?
Oh yeah, everyone's pretty pissed off. I mean, they're bad this year. There's no sugarcoating it. They're not going to the playoffs.
Okay.
And when the owner comes out and says our one goal this season is to go to the playoffs, and that goal is already a failure before you're even hit the just past the midway point of the season, that's a lost season, and they have to find a way to resurrect it. And right now, one of the ways is playing all the young players. And they did that this past weekend.
Runway.
17-year-old Tyson Pierce made his debut. They played 18-year-old Makai Joyner again. Hopefully he gets a contract. They played a 21-year-old in his debut with the first team. So play the youth. We're kind of in the same case. It's kind of the same thing now with City that it was with the Cardinals.
Isn't it generally that with the second-tier soccer leagues, the guys with a lot of international experience that aren't young tend to fare better? You might not be building for the future.
Say that one more time.
Veterans with big time experience, like internationally, that may be a little past their prime, but still able to play the game well, usually come to second tier leagues and put up better numbers than young development players.
Not necessarily. We've seen a lot of success from teams like Atlanta, getting a lot of cheaper players who are younger from South America, because there's a lot of talent in South America, but the money is just completely different. Like right now, the Club World Cup's going on, and like the best teams in Brazil are playing with the best teams in Europe. Like they're competing with them on the field, like level. And the best teams in Europe have 10x, 100x the salary of the best teams in Brazil. And so you can get very talented players out of South America for very cheap. And a lot of MLS teams have found that's the best way to get young talent. To your point, you can get a lot of European talent that's older, but to get young talent with some speed and things like that, you got to go South America or from the lower leagues in Europe. And a lot of criticism around St. Louis City over the last few years has been that they did not take that tact. Lutz has a lot more connections in Europe than he does in South America, despite playing in South America and for a couple of years, and go with lower level European players. And for the most part,
Get down to South America, baby.
For the most part, those players have been successful. But I have always agreed with fans that they do need to get a little bit more South America just because of the value effort there.
Scouting crew.
I was going to say Rocchio.
They have a pretty good sized scouting crew, but I think a lot of it is pitched towards Europe because, again, Lutz has the distinction, I think, of being the first player to ever play on all 6 continents. So he played in South America, but he's obviously being a German guy and being a broadcaster over in Europe while also being a general manager and things like that. His connections to Europe are just so much stronger. And so I think they need to expand to South America. That's one of the biggest, I think, legitimate criticisms.
Would you work for the city if they didn't pay you that much right off the bat as a scout, and you'd have to travel to South America and do all the big time travel? Would you?
Yeah.
Would you? Okay. Drop of a hat. I'm scouting for city. I don't give a damn.
You think you could evaluate talent properly?
I don't know. I don't know if I can with. I don't know if I can with soccer. It might be. This might be hubris. I do believe I could have been, if I would have gotten started at a young age, like in my 20s, and learned up over the last 10 years. I think I could have done it in basketball or football.
Interesting.
Could very well be wrong, but I mean, I firmly believe I would have been passionate. I'm a fairly hard worker about things I'm passionate about, and I think I could have been. I think I could have been an asset.
Is there any job that you could fill for?
Not Gil Brandt out here, but
for city? Because I mean, you're all into it. I mean,
I'm probably not good enough with numbers. Like that's the thing about
Yeah.
scouting these days. It's so much just they want people who can break down like statistical models, and not just break down a statistical model. They want people who can create new ones and give them an edge, a proprietary edge in looking at numbers and breaking down numbers that give that other scouting people aren't doing it. That's why the whole Moneyball thing is the guy's a math whiz. Like that's what why am I blanking on DePodesta? It wasn't about could he see it with his eyes? He could, but there was the also aspect of he could also break it down into the numbers wise and synthesize it on his own created algorithm. I'm not good enough.
Get on base.
He knew Scott Hatterberg was Babe Ruth.
Apparently,
what
yeah.
a fraud movie that was.
Yeah, it is a fraud movie.
Scott Hatterberg. They made it seem like this guy was the thing that turned it around. They had great pitching. They never mentioned it. They had the best pitching in the league, and they didn't mention it in the movie. They made it seem like Scott Hatterberg was the difference maker. A 260 hitter that year, I think.
Like
if that.
My thing is that like I know that I feel like I'm smart enough to know that I'm not that smart. So like, and when it comes to stats, like
I must be smart too.
If I see like a stat and I don't really get it, I will text my brother, who's much smarter than I am and who's very good at math and science. That's why he's a biochemist. And I'll say, can you help me figure out what this equation and algorithm is weighting? And so I can figure out if the stat is good or bad. And so like,
I ain't doing that.
And through that kind of stuff, I figured out that like, and it helps because I know that if someone uses quarterback rating, that they're not having a serious argument, because if you break down how quarterback rating weights certain stats, it's a broken stat. It's a dumb stat. It doesn't tell you anything accurately about quarterbacks. It's stupid because it doesn't weigh interceptions properly. It gives you way too much points for completion percentage. And if you just look at the algorithm and break down how it weights the things to get the number, you can figure that out. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I'm smart enough to know how to interpret it after somebody smarter than me explains it to me, i.e. my brother.
What about defensive runs saved?
I
think the defensive metrics, they're all over the place, in my opinion.
Defensive metrics in every sport are super hard to quantify. I like outs above average better than DVOA when it comes to defensive metrics in baseball. And I just think because I think DVOA, you get into the range factor too often. And I think range factor is a more subjective thing. And I try to keep my stats as objective as possible, because the only reason I'm using a stat is because I don't want to tell somebody, just trust me. This is what happens. I want to tell people this is what a player does, and here's the stat that tells you why this is what he does.
Or here's a piece of the puzzle.
Yes,
that's all a stat is.
And so for me, I'm just trying to give you a piece of the puzzle, and I just think that if a stat is too subjective, I'm not giving you an accurate piece of the puzzle. I'm giving you another just thing I could have said on the radio.
I used a defensive rating from Fangraphs of +1 for Burley, who had been negative in his career, and to show that he's better. But on other metrics, he was still a negative number. Well, how can that be?
Because
it's all over them.
Well, but yeah, and because certain metrics are taking in certain stats into account and leaving out certain things. Like I said, some of those factors take in range in a completely different way, and I think some of them actually take in like the percentage counts on like catch percentage, and that's that metric is broken. So I don't like using catch percentages either, because like that's the thing is you can just, some of these stats are good, some of them do suck. Like some people use them wrong. People who use WAR incorrectly ruin baseball arguments. If someone's using WAR to compare a third baseman and a left fielder, stop listening to that person. They're not using the stat correctly. They're using it wrong.
There's a ton of examples where one player who you think is average has a much higher WAR of a player than most people would say is a really good player.
And part of that is like, especially like the one that anytime I see somebody use WAR with third base and then somebody else, it's like, guys, you have to realize third base is an anomalous position in baseball. Like look at how few Hall of Famers there are. Like third base is a weird position in baseball history. I'm not sure if it's just because like it used to be all defense and it just and just then it eventually like you had to be a power hitter as well. Like why? I have no idea.
Used to be a place where you get home runs.
Okay.
So you didn't. The thinking was you didn't need a ton of lateral movement at third base, so you get a big guy who will give you home runs. I mean, and then you have great defensive players there too, like Mike Schmidt. I always put Greg Nettles in there because I think he's vastly underrated third baseman. But there have been some great ones.
Yeah, but
rolling.
But I'm saying is the amount of great players at third base compared to every other position, it's a lot smaller. And so I think like historically, like third base wars are very different than left field wars because you're talking about because WAR is only supposed to be used within a position group. So if you start comparing different position groups and using WAR, you've now broken the stat and it's not telling you what it's supposed to tell you.
There's a lot going on in baseball.
Like you're supposed to compare left fielders to left fielders using WAR, not across positions. And people do that so often and it breaks the stat and it's not telling you what it's supposed to be telling you anymore.
WAR is not good.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Comparing players on the same position.
Oh. Let's see. Also, Jonah Hill's character in the movie is not a real person. I thought I read somewhere that Jonah Hill's character in Moneyball was a combination of a few different people that were important.
Really good movie.
Damn good movie.
But it was a fraud movie.
Damn good movie. Look at the line change we got here. Look at the line change, baby. Look at this smooth line change right here. Look at that, baby. What's up? What's up, Eli? What's going on? You can turn your mic up. It was interesting that Trump was on trial last year for paying off a porn star in order to keep her quiet, and the key witness in the case was named Pecker, the prodigal. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. Is Charlie Mueller going to make a celebrity appearance soon, or is he out Trump hustling, trying to figure out how to profit from all the tornado damage in North City? I haven't seen him. No, he's been on. I watched a YouTube clip of him talking about the Cardinals the other day. He's NASCAR through and through, dude. You can't pry him away from that. He'll chime in here and there on baseball and stuff like that, but he's like neck deep in the NASCAR. Just like that.
Someone told me, I don't know if this is true, but someone told me that there's still people like living in tents in St. Louis from the storm damage. I hope that's not the case.
I don't know, man. It doesn't surprise me. Incompetence. I was at a meeting. You see,
but there's been a ton of money for aid.
Yeah,
raised. I hope it got to the right people.
You know, man, oh man, yeah, that was weird. That was certainly weird. We got rocked this year with storms, man. Really did.
Climate change.
It's always changing. Always has been. What's your take on climate change, Eli? Did I ask you that already?
We had a brief...
Are you worried about climate change? Is that your top 5?
We had a brief discussion about it one day when Jim was on the phone. It's definitely not as far up in my priorities as it has been in the past.
Okay,
for sure.
Okay,
I think that's the case with a lot of people.
I think you're right. There was a point where everybody was talking about it. Well, I mean, you had a lot of people talking about climate change.
I think I'm not discounting it, but if you had leaders saying that the world would end or the polar ice cap would be melted by 2018.
Yeah,
and it did. Like you can't keep
doing that over and over
again. The world,
so it's got to stop.
People
eventually.
are going to tune you out.
Well, they said sea levels are rising. Are they? Where? Venice? No, that's because Venice is sinking. Where are they rising at? You can look at pictures from 19 or 1800s and now, and they're the same. What about all these places in Florida? Why is the property value so high next to the sea that's rising? Wouldn't the market dictate it? It's not. That's why. Now, we still get terrible weather, like we just saw in Texas, and hurricane season's coming.
You think that's from cloud seeding?
No, I think that you can't brush that aside. You know what I mean? You can't brush that aside.
I don't think the technology is like it.
But if it works, can't you?
A man-made disaster, like intentionally?
Not intentionally.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not saying intentional. I'm just saying you got to look into that. Catastrophic rains in one area, like a freaking hurricane on a radar.
If you're saying
in southern Texas,
the intention was to get rain for the crops and it backfired, much like a lab in China.
Exactly.
Accident. I believe it's accidental. A virus got out. I believe that can happen.
You know, there's a flood of chocolate in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Where do you think that came from? You know what I mean?
Well, that was Jon Stewart said that.
Yeah, that was great. Well, what do we do? There's a bunch of chocolate running through the creeks in Hershey, Pennsylvania. What could it be? Beautiful place, by the way, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Lovely, lovely, lovely place. What's going on with you, Eli Hoover? What's going on with you? What's on your mind?
Well, not a whole lot. It was nice to get out this weekend. I was in Ohio watching cars go around a racetrack. as YouTube can probably see. You got a little more sun than I was expecting.
You look good, baby. That nice haircut.
But yeah, got a haircut. So I appreciate Cam saying something yesterday. You know, YouTube. This is your second time seeing me, so I'll let it go.
Yeah, just wave to the YouTube camera right there. It's right there, baby. Hey,
what race did you watch?
IndyCar at Mid-Ohio.
You're an IndyCar guy or just something to do?
Yeah, I'm a big IndyCar guy. I'll watch F1 quite a bit. NASCAR is kind of got to a point where it's too slow for me after watching Open Wheel. But
yeah, I saw a nasty accident.
Cody Ware, luckily he's okay. I think slight concussion, but he walked away okay. Otherwise,
those guys are pretty tough, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going 200 miles an hour, inches from each other, bumping into each other. Like you're a pretty tough dude. You got some balls.
What is NASCAR? What do they run? What's the speed of those cars?
NASCAR, it'll been so they ran a street circuit this past weekend, so it was a lot slower because a lot bigger cars, a lot more turns, tighter turns, especially on street circuits. So I don't know off the top of my head, but it's still 3 digits.
Was that in Chicago?
Yeah,
that's badass. So actually,
around 120 miles an hour, probably, if I had to guess. But
are you into NASCAR, Jimmy? Like, would you go watch races?
Yeah, I'd go.
Yeah, I'd go too. I think I'd go.
I just not something that.
If you got invited to a soccer game or a NASCAR race right across the river, what would you go to?
If they were both close?
Yeah.
I want to go soccer first, just because I said I'd go. I want to see.
I've been there.
STL City. You were there for a half.
I went
front
there.
row, and it was too much for
went there
Ran with the peasants.
I went there,
So
but I
you
left halfway through.
You left.
I still donated my time and money there because that's what I do for St. Louis. That's exactly what I do. Why can't fans just watch and enjoy sports and stop analyzing everything? Who do you think that's from? Baseball Bob. Baseball Bob.
What do you mean? That's the beauty of it.
That's what you Baseball Bob, that's what you do every single day when you text in and call in. You analyze everything. So what the hell are you talking about? God, he's out of his mind. And he said he wasn't going to text in until September.
Yeah,
how'd that go?
Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm not sure if that was, or I wasn't with you guys. So I think that was before the show started. We were talking about what a St. Louis fight night would look like. I mean, Cam versus Hockey Bob might be pretty high up on the card.
Man, no one's going to that. They want me to fight Losey, I think. That might draw something. Or if I fought.
I'd pay to see that.
I know. You'd have to pay me money.
Yeah, how much?
I don't give a damn. I love charity. Fine. Charity, love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Most of the time. You're paying me to fight somebody.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay me a lot of money.
How much?
To fight Losey? $100,000.
That much?
Yeah.
Never happened.
No. They wanted me to fight Jake Paul 4 or 5 years ago. Good thing I didn't do that. I probably should have. They would have knocked my ass out.
You think so?
Kate was with me on the river on my boat, and I got the call from a guy that I know out east, and he's like, "Hey, this kid's fighting guys. He's a YouTuber. Wants to get some athletes to fight him." And I'm like, "Interesting. He's a YouTuber." I'm like, "Okay." And then you look a little bit into it, and you're like, no, this guy's a big, wealthy YouTuber that's training with the best of the best. He's been doing it for a long time, professional training. No, I got work to do. I'm a ways off. This guy's in the gym every second of the day. Can't do it. Nope. He would have knocked me out like Robinson.
Really?
Yes. And if Reaver fights him, Reaver's going to get his ass kicked too. Okay. We give me the, okay. We're going to be on time now. We're going to be on time. Who's up next, by the way, Eli?
Elevate and Lead, Kaylee Chandler, Mike Chandler, and Jennifer Bardell.
Yeah, what's up? See, I told you, Caitlin did a great job today. Was that okay?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything at all?
Oh, yes. About the soccer, baseball stats.
Yeah, baseball stats.
Yes, that was actually really interesting.
You understand what he's saying? Because I didn't. Oh, good for see.
Well,
You're already.
I get the gist of it.
Cool.
How some sets don't.
You'll figure that out.
Compare with your position.
He's gonna have to follow him around.
A piece of the puzzle.
Just a little piece of the puzzle. Good job today, everybody. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Rocchio. Thank you, Eli Hoover. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you to everybody. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
All aboard! There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes,